Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xentor here and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now in today's video I'm going to be trying to give you guys the best idea or tutorial to what I can give on how to get a good smooth landing in infinite flight. Now the first plane I've taken out is the 787-800 in the Delta. So basically I've chosen this aircraft specifically for a good reason. Now I will do an aircraft with a live cockpit in a bit. But the reason I've chosen this one is because it's not got a live cockpit, and I want to show you guys what I'm aiming for with the HUD and with a few of the other features. So we're just calibrating here very quickly. It takes me a while to get my calibration set, and we are a little bit laggy today. Now, as you can see, the first thing I'm aiming for is to get that little circle central above the runway. And it is worth noting that there's a little bit crosswinds today that we've got here. Now, so I'm just going to try and align that the best I can. Now the next thing that's worth noting is on the right side of the bit in the center of the screen, you can see the altitude. Now you can see it's about 1,300 feet right now. Now just to the left of that, there's a little weird like green tilted square. Now that is your glide slope, I believe it's called. Now the idea of that is to get that as close as you can to the center line, because that means you're, intact en route with your glide slope. So I'm just going to check the audio as well as off so you guys can hear me loud and clear. Now that's very important. Now the next thing I'm going to do is adjust your trim. Now for me, I prefer to have about 15%. Now quite a few people say you should use about 50 or 40 for landing, so we will put it on 40, which might be a bit too high for this. Now you can see that we're a little bit below the glide slope at the moment, which is okay. And the next thing we're going to have a look at is, my iPad is frozen, is the puppy lights. Now you can see them there right in the middle, the little red and yellow, the red and white lights. Now you want one red and one white light there to get your smooth landing here in a foot flight. Now this is just the approach. This has nothing to do with getting the smooth landing. Now you can see, now we can just see the landing zone on the runway, and the bit I aim for now is literally as early as you can. You don't really want to overshoot it. The bit where you can see the bigger white boxes is a good place to aim. You don't want to do it a little bit too low, which I've done quite a few times. So now we're at about 140 knots, which I think is an okay landing speed for the 787, coming in a little bit fast, and we're going to literally just slowly tilt up the aircraft. This is called the flare, right before you hit the runway. And you see the little circle, you want that to be right on your center. So literally you're at minimal feet per second. Now that was a little bit of a rough landing, I think. And we're going to hold up the flare by tilting the iPad or iPhone or whatever you have in the air, and then we're going to bring it down onto the ground. Now we are quite a bit laggy today, and I think I've just realised why, because I've got maximum graphics on. So we're going to bump that back down, and you're going to continue with the reverse thrust for the duration of your landing, and then you will of course exit the runway. Now that's how you do it on a 787. Without a live cockpit. So it's really easy if you're just using the HUD. Maybe we should have done it inside the cockpit. Now we're going to take a bit of a more challenging aircraft. We'll take one of the A330s, shall we? Everyone loves a bit of A330. Cathay Pacific, why not? And we'll stick at London Heathrow. So now we're going to attempt it without the HUD, which is the green thing we were just looking at. And this makes it considerably harder. So we're going to go straight into it, and we're going to go straight in here. Now this almost immediately for me makes it a lot harder. The first thing I'm looking at is for the glide slope, which is a little bit below us, I believe, or it's above us. Oh, so the glide slope, yeah, sorry, the glide slope is the little purple thing, so we can't see it awfully well. But this is an okay view for us right now. I'm quite happy with it. And the glide slope is above us, so we're falling a little bit faster than we want to be falling. And I'm going to adjust our trim up to 14%. Just a bit. Now the glide slope is, we are on the glide slope now, and the puppy lights tell us that as well. We're going to have to tilt left a little bit because we are not in with that center line, and we are now way above our glide slope. So I'm going to bring down the spoilers into flight mode to drop down that speed quite quickly, and hopefully we will slow down. So we are on literally 0% thrust for just a little bit, and I can feel the aircraft dropping quite a bit more now. So we are dropping very, very fast. So we are now, of course, way off center line again. So this is where you want to do just a few little adjustments, and we are literally still way too high for where we want to be. So that's okay, that's okay. Not everything's perfect. So the puppy lights have now gone back towards where we want them. And we're going to have to slowly increase our speed because we have literally just hit back on with that glide slope, which is now slightly above us. That's okay. So with regards to the centerline, now landing without the HUD can be extremely hard in some circumstances, and we are coming in very good and very comfortably right now. And so landing with the HUD, like I said, it's hard because you don't actually always know where the aircraft's headed. And we are okay at decent altitude now, I think. So we're literally just chilling above the runway. And I'm going to begin a tiny flare. We are still, I think, a little bit too high for the runway. But that's okay. And here we go. And that is it. So we have landed. Okay, it wasn't the smoothest landing in the world. It might have been a tail strike, actually. But we'll go back and have a look at this landing in replay mode. So you can see that I have like just about managed it. I didn't really use the rudder too much because I was trying to show you guys what I'm mainly looking for. But we'll pop into replay mode, and my replay files are a mess. And we'll just see how bad that was, because I did feel a bit of a FUD. But you can see that coming in, we did get quite of a good centerline. So we're just gonna go back into the replay, and we're gonna just see. So you could tell that with the approach, so here we are on the final little bits, we are tilting up again, but we're coming in quite nicely. We are we're a little bit off centerline, but again, a tiny adjustment there. Maybe I should have used my rudder for that. And we have come in, and do we FUD into the ground? Do you know, that's not an awful landing, I don't think, for no HUD. It could have been a lot smoother. I've seen lots smoother, but we are pretty good for centerline. So that is how you do it without the HUD. Now we'll just have a look in a comparison to what it is with the HUD. So of course you should be much better when using that HUD within Infinite Flight Mobile Flight Simulator. You should be more on it and more on ball. Now we will get a fighter jet out in a minute, and we will use the arrestor hook, which is the final thing we'll be using. So we're going to skip to the fun bit. So here we are, just coming in above the runway. Lovely approach here on that Delta aircraft. It looks lovely, Delves, from the 787, I think. If you agree with me, let me know. But I think Delta looks great on the 787 livery. Here we go, coming nice in, nice and smooth. Perfect. We haven't quite floated yet, and we're just coming down. Now we're bang on centerline, and there we go. Now that is a lovely landing, and with the flare as well. We kept the flare up for a little bit, and then bang, touchdown. Now that was a great landing there. So that's the first landing we did with the 787. And then the final one I'd like to show you in this very short and quite straightforward tutorial, I think, is the F-18, which has moved as always. And we'll take out the Maverick livery for this, and we will have to go to a different airport which have the arrestor hooks. Now, in a video I did yesterday, I forgot to enable the arrestor hooks, which was quite embarrassing for me. So we're not going to forget that today. Now the arrestor hook, I'm not too really sure when it comes out, but I bring it out a little bit later on in my landing approach to the airport. Now I do believe this is one of the aircraft which does have an arrestor hook, so an arrestor hook support catcher thing. Now there is no glide slope with this aircraft, so it is a little bit tricky to see where you're headed all the time, but generally you would have a HUD in more modern aircraft such as the one like this. And I don't even know if I can go into autopilot with an Air Force base and get the nav. I can set on nav 1, so we're going to runway. We'll just do that and see what nav does for us, and if it actually gives us a glide slope. So we do have a glide slope as such, but not one on there, so we're actually way too high. We're going to just pop back a few seconds. And so we're going to be doing this landing then with our HUD. So we'll do it in the cockpit view, but we will put our HUD out. Now I am aware that the arrestor hook has not yet been deployed. I'm fully aware of that as well. So we're just going to come up a little bit as well. And there we go. So there are very few airports in infant flight which are actually capable of supporting an arrestor hook landing. I believe this is one of them. I'm pretty sure most of them are located within the United States, and they have a special name. A few people put it in the comment section a few days ago, but I've forgotten what it's called. So if anyone knows it, let me know down below. And we are going to bring out the arrestor hook now. So the arrestor hook is this little thing here, and what this does is it actually catches onto a wire down here at the airport. So we're a little bit too high, I think, for my liking. And are there puppy lights here that I can see? I don't see any puppy lights to talk to us here, which is a bit unfortunate. So we're going to come in on this view, I think, just for the final bit, so I can really try and catch it. And what you have to do is sort of hit the plane into the ground. this is one of the very few aircraft that you actually are able to just go kabang straight into the ground. Not very many aircraft in for flight would comfortably allow that. So I suppose that is a bonus to such an aircraft like this. So we're all ready for landing, and that arrestor hook is deployed. And you want to sort of aim right in the middle of the touchdown zone, because it is very easy to miss the arrestor hook, and the chances are I will miss it first time here on this landing as well. So we are just going to have to make a slight left turn here for the arrestor hook, because I want to be as central as I can, and I'm quite happy with the heavier rate of descent right now. And what we're going to do, go straight on here, and we're just going to cut power to 0. That's what I like to do, but you're meant to cut it to 100%, I think. We're going to slam it into the ground, come on. Bang. And have we caught the arrestor hook or not? I think we are on the arrestor hook, because we've slowed down very quickly. Now, I can't actually tell if we hit that. I don't think we did. So we're going to go back 20 seconds and again, and we're going to try it one more time, and we're going to literally try and really, so just point up. So this is what we sort of want to be like in a few seconds, pointing up as high as we can while still coming down. Ooh, a little bit too early there. So there we go, there we go, there we go. Come on. Now. That's it. And then we're just going to come straight down. Now, did we hit the arrestor hook? Because this could turn into a very bad tour. I think we might have got it that time. Not too sure. Let's go back 20 seconds and just like really completely missed it. Oof. No. So the arrestor hook is a bit of a hard one. So sorry I went quiet there. Now we are just going to go back into replay and we're going to see if we can see it. So the arrestor hook apparently is meant to be visible. I've personally never been able to see it. So it's a bit of a hard one to find. So we're just going to have a very, very quick peek at, and we're going to just see what went wrong. So it's a hard thing. I've never been very good with the arrestor hooks. So the first time we came in, it doesn't even show our arrestor hook, which is a bit stupid. So I'm not too sure if we did hit it or not. I think we might have got it on that one. I'm not fully sure. We potentially caught it, we potentially didn't. I don't actually know. But the spoilers have deployed and they're working, so that's fine. However, if you did find it helpful though with the other aircraft, I didn't mean to take a screenshot, let me know down below. And please make sure you like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Good night.
Find your way.